Richie, you're very welcome. A special shout as always to my Patreon friends at patreon.com/Jake O'Kane comic. And my apologies, I'm a bit late putting this one up for you, but I had a bit of a late night after a gig in the Ulster Hall last night, which is also responsible for the raspy voice. My apologies. My thanks to all who came. And more apologies are due to those who bought tickets for my Armagh show there last Friday, which unfortunately had to be cancelled due to Storm Eowyn. More on that later. No. Well, it's happened. It's happened. Hold on, have to change hats. Huh? What do you think? Is it me? Do you think that's me? Oh, the Donald's back, and hence the MAGA hat. Though, if you notice, I've stroked out the grit, as I believe, I honestly believe, by the end of Donald's run, they'll be facing with simply remaking America again. Now, it has to be a special shout out to my good friend Tim Cunningham, who now lives in the USA, and I forced him into buying me the hat. I got great satisfaction from the fact that Dr. Tim lectures in a New York university and is a staunch liberal. So buying this hat would have caused him great discomfort. You got to take pleasure where you can find it, haven't you? But what a spectacular return of Trump proved to be. Firstly, it was fitting that the swearing-in ceremony was moved indoors. Now, not because the crowds outside were small. Don't you dare put that about. No way. It was because it was cold. Aye, right. Now, that it took place in the Rotunda was poignant, as that's one of the places the January the 6th insurgents stormed on the day of their ignominy. Now, as I predicted a couple of weeks ago, right after his win, one of Trump's first directives was a blanket pardon for all those he termed hostages, granting them full pardon, meaning their crimes have been washed away with one swipe of the Donald's Sharpie. That Sharpie had a very busy day, as the Donald went to town, cancelling the US membership of the World Health Organization, removing the country from the Paris Climate Agreement, and promising to drill, baby, drill. Even as the Los Angeles still smouldered and Florida experienced a snowstorm. But that's not global warming. Don't worry, it's nonsense. Unlike Trump, who stomped off in a huff and refused to attend the inauguration of Joe Biden, the adults were in attendance for the Trump's inauguration in the shape of past presidents Clinton, Bush, and Obama. Also, there were a phalanx of tech billionaires, including Amazon's Jeff Bezos, Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg, and of course, staunch Trump supporter Elon Musk. Now, Musk's behaviour on the day was, at best, unusual, culminating in an unfortunate salute to the assembled crowds, which was immediately seen as a Nazi salute. Now, I can understand why. But I personally remain unconvinced that was his intention. And when I suggested this online, I was swamped by abuse. For me, one of the greatest dangers of Trumpism is it drags decent people down to his level of argument and division. Trump wins if he forces us into a position where we won't even consider the possibility that Elon Musk's action was in fact innocent. That all he was doing was going from my heart outwards. He has found a multitude of pictures of other politicians and celebrities doing exactly the same gesture. Now, I refuse to jump to conclusions simply because they fit my confirmation bias regarding Trump and those around him. To the left, or liberals, or Democrats, or whatever term you wish to use for those who view Trump as a demagogue, well, we can't lose the common decency which separates us from the ogre now occupying the White House. I had to take his hat off. It's beginning to annoy even me. Do you understand? I'm sorry. Give me a wee second here. That's my hat. That's not my hat. Anyway, indeed, if you can judge a man by the company he keeps, then ogre may be a kind description of the new president. The far right from around the world weighed in, with everyone from Nigel Farage, past Home Secretary Suella Braverman, and ex-actor, now far-right commentator Lawrence Fox arriving from the UK.
Did Mr. Trump invite you here? Why is it important for you to be here?
Listen, I've got the Make America Great hat again.
Okay.
Listen, it's an honour to be here, and I'm very grateful for the invitation for the inauguration.
You got a direct invitation from Mr. Trump.
And I'm very looking much forward to attending the rally tomorrow. But
and you're here with Lawrence Fox as well?
We happen to be on
Did
the
you
same
travel
flights.
together?
Would you believe it? Even our own wee Ian Paisley Jr. managed to blag a ticket for the big event. Oh, that wee child just loves banging in their mare miles. There was a free dinner at the end of it. Now that Trump has acted like a magnet for right-wing bigots, I'd make a genuine request. See the ones you have over there? Keep them. Keep them all. But don't, seriously, you can have them. Honestly. We don't want them back. No, you're welcome to them. Now, it isn't surprising that the tech billionaires such as Bezos, Zuckerberg and Musk all threw in $1 million to help pay for Trump's inauguration, as they rightly view that as an investment in their company's futures under the Trump reign. The desire to promote self-interest in the face of the common good will be the epitaph of this administration, along with vacuous promises which will never be realised. To the utter joy of Elon Musk, who again danced around the stage, not exactly normal behaviour, Trump promised to land an American on Mars. This from a man who couldn't even build a wall between the USA and Mexico. Bombastic promises such as renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America is emblematic of an insular nationalism which sadly is not confined to the USA. Around the world, authoritarian far-right governments are once again on the rise. And now they have the figurehead of Trump to look to for support. There's uncomfortable questions that need to be asked. One is, did the Democratic Party's decision to adopt first the aged Joe Biden and subsequently the inexperienced Kamala Harris contribute to Trump's victory? Like, why didn't the Democrats recognize that Biden, who can hardly walk, much less run for president? And why weren't proper contingencies put in place with a plausible vice president who could step in if needed? The smug sense of moral and intellectual superiority exhibited by the Democratic Party, was laid bare as they grew ever more detached from the fears and aspirations of ordinary Americans. Faced with an adversary willing to do whatever was necessary to win, the Democrats retreated in disdain to their ivory towers. Unable or unwilling to get down and dirty, they completely miscalculated an electorate fed up with a tired and enfeebled president, and who were willing to believe the lies of the greatest political con man of the age. Another nettle must be grasped in the shape of the woke culture, which, obsessed with gender politics, laid the ground for a popular backlash in the shape of Trumpism. As liberals excoriated each other around pronouns, Trump weaponized only two: us and them. He succeeded in reducing complex issues around gender into one sentence: this government will only recognize two genders, male and female. Like it or not, people, while simplistic, that proved popular with the majority of the American people. And unless the Democratic Party returns to real politics, they face decades out of power, while Trump, having corrupted the Republican Party into his party, will, I believe, install his family to reign as a new age of emperors. I know this sounds far-fetched. Ponder this, however. Who would have believed only 10 years ago that a television personality and convicted felon would today sit in the White House as president of the most powerful nation in the world? The Democrats and liberals are now paying the price of forgetting the first principle of politics. You must win. Unless you win, you lose everything, as has happened with Trump, in charge now of both houses and a Supreme Court stacked in his favour. The result is that American women no longer have dominion over their own bodies. Genders again reduced to male and female, and many hard-won freedoms may soon be extinguished. But don't give up hope, people. Hope is not dead, because I predict that the bromance between Trump and Musk will not last. Trump has sacked everybody in his past administration. Some people only lasted days. And do you see when Trump and Musk fall out? Well, the fallout from their fallout will be something to behold. But sadly, that may take some time, which means pain for both America and the rest of the world.
You'll do nothing. You hear me? You'll do nothing.